Hey everyone, and welcome to my tutorial how to make the scrap beanie, or you can say leftover yarn beanie. I promise there is no ends to weaving after, and I will show you how to do that. We will be making beanie from all this leftover yarn and all this yarn in small amounts, so let's get started. You will need measuring tape, crochet hook that is 0.5 millimeters larger than is recommended for that yarn weight. I am using 4.5 millimeter crochet hook because I'm using double knit weight yarn, and recommended crochet hook is 4 millimeters. Then you will need 2 stitch markers, darning needle, scissors, and all leftover yarn the same weight, but it can be different fibers. To start beanie, I'm using this yellow yarn, and at the beginning you need to make a slip knot. Now you need to make a foundation chain that is 26 centimeters long. This will be your height of the beanie, including the brim. We are crocheting according to measurements because there is no gouge and you can crochet with any weight of yarn you want. So here I am, I have 26 centimeters for my foundation chain. This is for more like a classic style beanie, but if you want more slouchy, you can crochet 28 centimeters or 29. If you want more like a fisherman style, you can do 23 or 24. Now, if you flip your foundation chain, you will see the back bumps on the foundation chain, and you will be making the first row into these back bumps. You will be making half double crochets, and to start first, you need to skip the first back bump and start crocheting into the second. So yarn over, insert your hook into the second back bump from the hook, yarn over, pull the yarn through the stitch, yarn over and pull the yarn through all 3 loops. This is your first half double crochet. For the second, yarn over, insert your hook into the next back bump, yarn over, pull the yarn through the stitch, yarn over and pull the yarn through all 3 loops. And just repeat this half double crochet across the row into every back bump. And here I run out of the yarn on my first row, so I need to join another color scrap yarn, and I will show you now how to do that. Grab any color you want to join to your work and place the scrap yarn tail above the working yarn. The working yarn is yellow. Now place the scrap yarn tail on top of the working yarn, then the tail under the working yarn and under the scrap yarn, and just insert that tail into that middle circle and just tighten up the yarn. At the moment the knot will move, but you need to do the same with another side. Just this time we're doing with working yarn. So place the working yarn on top of the scrap yarn, then put the tail under scrap yarn and under working yarn. Now insert that tail into the indicated circle. And just tighten up the yarn. Now grab working yarn and the scrap yarn and just tighten up both. Cut the tails next to the knot, and you will see that yarn is strong enough. It's definitely not going to unravel. Continue working first row until you finish, and I will meet you at the end. At the end, just chain 1 and turn your work. Chain 1 does not count as the first stitch, so we'll be making first half double crochet into the very first stitch where the chain 1 is. You will be making half double crochet into the back loop across the row. And here is the back loop of the stitch. So you will be making half double crochets, just inserting your hook into these back loops. Yarn over, insert your hook just into the back loop of the stitch, yarn over and pull that yarn through the back loop, yarn over and pull the yarn through all 3 loops. I really recommend using the stitch markers into the first stitch of every row, so this way you're not gonna miss your last stitch because sometimes it can be tucked inside the row. So now yarn over, insert your hook just into the back loop into the first stitch, yarn over, pull the yarn through the back loop, yarn over and pull the yarn through all 3 loops. This is your first half double crochet into the back loop. And now just continue making those half double crochet just into the back loop across the row, and I will meet you at the very end. At the end of the row, just chain 1, turn your work. Chain 1 does not count as the stitch, and continue making those half double crochet into the back loop only across the row in every stitch. Change color when you run out of previous yarn, and sometimes when you crochet you can notice those back bumps are quite visible, but when we finish the beanie I will show you how to hide them. Let's continue those half double crochet into the back loop, and I will meet you at the very last stitch. Now the last half double crochet into the back loop placed into stitch with the stitch marker. In here you can see the stitch is quite visible, but sometimes it can be tucked really inside the row, so it's very easy to miss, and that's why I recommended to use stitch markers. Now just continue making rows until you reach 46 centimeters of your ribbing pattern. And if you want more accurate measurement, you can measure your head circumference and subtract 6 centimeters from your head circumference. And that negative ease of 6 centimeters will give you a comfortable fit without being too slouchy or too small. Sometimes when you change colors, it feels that colors don't fit together, but when you bend the brim and you will join even more colors, you will see the result will be very unique and beautiful. And here I have almost half of the ribbing pattern. I have 21 centimeters, and as you can see I joined more colors and it looks much better than the beginning of the beanie. Just try to trust the process. When you reach 46 centimeters or your measurement, you can cut the yarn around 80 centimeters long, so you have a long tail, chain 1 and fasten off the yarn. You will be using this tail to sew the beanie together. Here I'm showing that I have 46 centimeters long ribbing pattern, and now it's time to sew beanie together. But before you start sewing your beanie, weave in this shorter yarn tail into the work. Now position your beanie the same way as I do and fold your flat work in half. Align the edges together, and this opening will be the top of the beanie and this one where your head goes in. Now grab your darning needle, insert that long tail into the needle, and you're going to start whip stitching the beanie together. If you have any other method, you can use any other method, but I like to use whip stitch for my scrap beanies. To start whip stitch, insert your needle into the back loop of the first edge and the front loop of the second edge. Pull the yarn through, and from here you will be making stitches that loops over the edge. To start your first whip stitch, insert your needle into the back loop of the first edge and the front loop of the second edge, and pull the yarn through those stitches, and you have your first whip stitch. So just repeat like this until the end, inserting the needle into both edges, back loop and front loop, and I'm going to meet you at the very end. Now at the end, when you have last stitch left, I like to make 2 whip stitches into the same stitch, so I know my edge is really secured. And this is the wrong side of your beanie. You can see the whip stitch from the wrong side, and now you can see from the good side. The seam looks invisible. Now you will be sewing the top of your beanie with the same yarn tail. Now you need to wave the yarn in and out at the very top of your beanie. Just make sure you're waving the yarn at the very top, not far away from edge. And just do like this around your beanie until you reach the starting point. And when you reach the starting point, just grab that tail and tighten up. And you still have a small opening on top, so you will need to circle with your needle around that small opening. And when you circle back to where you started, just pull the yarn and you will see your opening is almost closed. The next what I like to do, I like to stitch 3 times vertically and 3 times horizontally, so I know my opening is really secured and it's not going to unravel. First, I like to sew a little bit on the left from the opening, then right in the middle of the opening, and the third, it's more on the right side. Exactly the same when you're doing horizontally. So let's just do that and I will meet you at the end. Now, to make sure that your opening is really secured, I like to knot 3 times. So just make a loop and tighten up the yarn. You have your first knot, and not far from the same space, I like to knot the second time and the third time. And now I'm waving in my yarn. I don't think it's really needed, but I want to make sure my beanie opening is super secure. So I just wave in the yarn, I made few more knots, cutted the yarn not far from the knot, and my beanie is finished. Just give a little shake, turn your beanie right side out, bend the brim, and I will show you how to hide those visible knots. Now grab the hook that is smaller, maybe smallest you have. I took 3.5 or 375 millimeters. Just insert your hook from wrong side to the right side, right near the knot. Grab that knot and pull to the wrong side. As you can see, the knot is disappeared and it looks very clean. The knot you can find on another side of the beanie. And just the only thing left to do to hide those knots and your beanie will be finished. If you have any questions, please leave in the comment section. I will try to answer them all. And thank you for watching. See you soon in another tutorial.